This podcast is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
We don't have Otis Kirk on this show enough. He called up the last time we had him on the show. I think you heard us talking about Monty Harrison, new Arkansas wide receiver and former Major League outfielder. We got Otis with us here for a segment on halftime right now. Hey, Otis, thanks for coming on. How are you?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Yeah, how's it going, man? I did call that day. Yeah, I was talking about Monty Harrison, and yeah, I was driving down the road, and I was bored, and I'm thinking, hey, I'm just calling to contribute to this.
Sounds like we were boring you in the car, too. Nah, I joke. I'm joking a little bit.
Yeah.
Who'd you get to hear after practice today?
We got Ronnie Fouch in the receiver, so, I mean, it was a pretty good little deal with Fouch. I mean, you know, I think he's got some good groups there. Of course, Andrew Armstrong is obviously one of the key players there, and going to have a big year. Broden still has the catches of the preseason, though. Like the third or fourth play in first practice, Taylen throws him a ball, and it's a little high over Jalen Braxton, but Broden goes up, makes a one-handed snag of it, and goes for a touchdown. And it was great coverage by Jalen, but it was just a heck of a catch, man. It wasn't even, I mean, it was a heck of a catch by Broden, more than it was a great pass. It was just a heck of a catch by Broden. I mean, he one-handed that thing. That big Paul went up there and got that, and he took it in the end zone. And, yeah, that's what got people excited. They got some good size out there with Armstrong, Broden, and those, Monte Harrison and those guys. And then you got some speed with Isaiah Satina and those guys. And, you know, Isaac's got some size. So it's a good combination. Fouch has put together a good group. And, you know, he was the one coach that they brought in this offseason I didn't know anything about. And I was kind of leery of him. And then he's a very good recruiter, and he's a really good coach. I mean, you know, and, yeah, he's proved to be a great hire for them.
Otis, man, always good to have you on the show. Thanks for coming on today, man.
Thanks for asking, man.
How much camp have you got to see? And then you're talking about some highlight plays, but who out there has been the most consistent? Who so far from what you've seen has been having the most consistent camp?
Well, I think Taylen Green has been he's been really consistent. I mean, he's been very consistent. He's just, and I'm talking about more than just throwing the football or running. He's
just
leadership.
Taking control, yeah.
Yeah, he's taking control, and that's what's impressed me because let's be honest, that was missing last year. It really was, and he's taking control. He's looked good. I've missed 2 or 3 practices with recruiting stuff. You know, I was out of town Saturday, but I love Jaquindon Jackson. I saw like they had 7 or 8 transfer running backs. They were asking who's going to be the best in the SEC this year. I don't remember who put that on X today, and I asked, where's Jaquindon? I mean, you know, I can't believe there's 8 transfer running backs, 7, maybe it's 7 or 8, whatever. I can't believe there's that many transfer running backs better than Jaquindon Jackson. I love that guy. He's down in the red zone. He's unstoppable. I asked him after the spring game, if they give you 4 carries inside the 10, can anyone stop you? And he said no. Well, I mean, I know that's tall, but still, I mean, I believe it. I mean, he runs with authority down, especially in the red zone. He may not have the speed of some running backs. He's not slow. That's all I'm saying. But he doesn't have necessarily the speed. So, but man, he runs tough. And you pencil him in with Braylon Russell and some of these other guys, I think, and of course Rashad Dabinion. The running backs room's good. They look consistent. Andrew Armstrong has been very consistent, man. He's caught the ball. He just does what they ask, and he does what's expected. You know, Luke at tight end, I've got to believe, if he stays healthy, I've got to believe Arkansas's got his 3rd Mackey Award winner in the SEC. You know, DJ and Hunter won that award, but I can't imagine Luke leaving Arkansas without winning that if he stays healthy. And I'm talking about particularly his junior season, because that's when probably be his last one here, and that's when he needs to really shine. This year, if he stays healthy, he's going to be great. But I think next year he will get a lot of awards and get honored for his play. Maybe the area that's most improved over last year's offensive line, guys. Those 3 transfer from the transfer portal, those 3 portal kids, they've really helped. And one thing they did, they allowed Patrick Kudas, who played tackle, to move inside the guard. People don't realize that. I mean, he's not a tackle. He wasn't bad out there, but he's a natural guard. And they allowed getting those 2 tackles and a center allowed Patrick to go back to guard. And, of course, with Braun and Tykees Crawford and those guys. And then the defense, I tell you, T. Will, but Dick Adams has been tearing it up on the recruiting trail. And and he's earned himself a raise over there in that defensive line. He's got some good players, and Braxton's been consistent. I mean, Jake Johnson really came on last year. He's a kid that I'd kind of written off, and he showed me. I mean, he came out there last year and had a very good season. So I think they're going to be a lot better than they were last year. I'm not saying 12-0. I'm not even saying 10-2. I'm just saying they're going to be a lot better than last year. I think 8-4 is very realistic for this football team. I really do. Now, September's going to let us know a lot. I mean, that schedule in September is going to tell us a lot. By the end of September, if they're 3-2 or 4-1, they're going to be headed down the right road. If they're 2-3 or worse, then all bets are off.
Well, Otis, I mean, it really sounds like Coach Pittman and his staff have been able to also convince some highly touted prospects that this is the place to come, and that they're going to be here when it's time for them to come to campus too. So I know they had a big Saturday as far as getting 4 commits, and they've got 5 commits that I know they're really high on. I think some fans are a little bit jaded thinking, well, these coaches probably won't be here. But these kids certainly think they will. They're looking at this program saying, I can fit here, and these coaches will be here too.
Yeah, you recruit for the now. As soon as I put Colton Yarborough out there, I broke that there was going to be some big news coming. Obviously, he was one of them, one of the two. But Colton is a big-time player. He can go anywhere in the country he wants to, basically. And, he visited Georgia. He got back, visited Arkansas, and I went down Saturday to the rest. He told me, he said, Georgia just didn't keep it real like Arkansas did. He said they kept it real, but not like Arkansas. Arkansas offered him in the 8th grade. When he or Sean Cooper, who owns C4, kind of helping with him or the coach, they call up here, either Deke Adams or Sam Pittman take the call every time. It's never voicemail or we're tied up right now. He told me they take the call every time. I mean, this kid has relatives who attended Arkansas. They've got a lot of fans in Arkansas. His parents were decked out in hog stuff Saturday at the press conference. And Colton's 6'6", 242 pounds. They went into Oklahoma Saturday and got the number 1 player in 2026 and the number 5 player. And, Adam Austin's not getting the publicity that Colton is because I can't be 2 places at one time. But the Kip and Lawton Mack of 6'1", 212-pound safety, I mean, that's nothing to scoff at. I mean, that's a big kid going into the 11th grade. By the way, I feel Colton Yarborough, he's going to play Gravett on September the 13th at Gravett. So anybody listen to this, I know it's going to be, and that's the night before they play UAB in football, the Hogs. You can go out and watch Colton play out there at Gravett, and I'm going to tell you, you're going to be impressed. This is not, people don't realize how good this kid is. And I mean, he's just unreal, and I'm not overhyping him. He's a 4-star. He's the number 1 player in Oklahoma. I mean, you think of some of the number 1 players like, I don't know if Quinn Growe was actually the number 1 player in Oklahoma, but I know he had a good career here. Luke has, look at the career he's having. He was number 1 that year. We go to Keon Hatcher and other players. It's had Felix Jones wasn't the number 1 player, but Matt, you guys know what kind of year or what kind of career Matt Felix Jones had here. So, those Oklahoma kids have done well in Arkansas. I'm leaving a lot out, but I'm just going down Alvin Bailey. There's just been a bunch of kids from Oklahoma come over to Arkansas and excel, and Colton and Adam both will be in that group. I promise you.
Hey, Otis, we got a couple minutes left. Out of the incoming class this year, who do you think is a freshman on either side of the ball that can contribute this season? Yeah,
the coach was talking about Tevis Metcalf. He thinks he's going to contribute. I think Selman Bridges, both those are defensive backs. Selman's a corner. Tevis is kind of the guy that can versatile, play corner, play nickel, play safety. Both those kids, I think, will see some action. Braylon Russell, running back, I definitely think he's going to play. I know they've got Rashad and they've got Jaquindon, but Braylon Russell's going to play. I'm trying to think real quick here, but those are the guys right now. I think they've got some others that could play. Possibly at linebacker, there's a couple. Wyatt Simmons, and of course the kid out of that came here late. Those are some players that I think as freshmen could definitely get in the mix and make waves this season. And but I do think Braylon Russell will have a big career at Arkansas. This kid's 6 foot, 240 pounds, 6'1", whatever he is. and 240, 245 pounds, and got good speed. I mean, he played at Benton, and he played 1 year at Lakeside and then 2 years at Benton, and he's just a good ball player. But I think there's going to be some freshmen. With the transfer portal, it's not like when Matt played. I don't think as many freshmen play now as back then because of the transfer portal. He got older players coming in, but there will be some freshmen, and some of those guys I just mentioned will be among them, guys.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.